The chapter begins with everyone choosing their teams. Some players decide to go to Germany, others to Spain, Italy, or France. Chigiri comments, "These guys are just choosing based on their personal impressions." Eden approaches Isagi and asks, "What about you, Isagi? Which one are you choosing?" Isagi replies, "We're not choosing to join their teams. We're choosing the pro league we want to learn from, right?" Chigiri nods. That's how Ego's explanation made it sound. Isagi continues, "Then I've made my decision. I've been watching England's league a lot lately, and it's somewhere I'd like to visit. But ever since I was a kid, I've always admired Germany." Chigiri adds with a grin, "Because your hero Noah is there, right?" Isagi chuckles. "Yeah. How about you, Chigiri? Have you decided?" Chigiri says, "I'm going with England. That place tests your speed, so I want mine tested there." Isagi smiles. "You're so cool." Ryu interjects, "I chose England too, so I'm with you, Chigiri. They've got a lot of teams I like, and above all, I can already smell the money." Chigiri smirks. "Sounds like you, Ryu." Isagi adds, "Makes sense, since you're the son of the Makeage Corporation." He then turns to Nagi. "What about you, Nagi? Have you decided?" Nagi tilts his head. "Which country is that guy from the game from? The one who's good at trapping?" Chigiri responds, "That guy's retired now, but that video was from when he played in England." Nagi shrugs. "Then I'm going with England." Ryu grins. "So we're together, Nagi." Nagi stares blankly. "What, Ryu? What's the problem?" Suddenly, Bachira enters the scene and says with a teasing grin, "Are you on the fence, Isagi?" Isagi turns and notices Bachira. Bachira grins and says, "I've decided. I'm going to the country of dribbling and technique. I'm going to Spain." Isagi nods. "I figured you would. I think it suits you." Bachira replies, "To be honest, it doesn't really matter where we go. I mean, we're going to be the best strikers in the world, right? That means no matter where we find ourselves, we just need to keep being the best there, right? It's not about making the right choice. It's about making our chosen path the right one. That's how you become the world's best." He adds with a smile, "And in the end, it's not a reason you can trust in. So, even if we end up on separate paths, make sure you've evolved by the time we meet again." With that, Bachira waves goodbye to Isagi. Isagi watches him leave and thinks, "Thanks, Bachira. You're right. I'll try this in my journey too. The environment I want to gamble everything on, the place where I can burn the hottest right now, is Germany. Because everything I need is there." With the decisions made, the players are separated into their respective teams, each choosing their country and moving forward on their own paths. An announcement is made. The 9 players who selected Germany, please proceed to the next room. The players begin moving one by one. First is Igarashi, who eagerly exclaims, "I'm so pumped to move on." Next is Yukimiya, who comments, "I can't tell if we're teammates or enemies yet." Hiyori follows and says with a smile, "Well, let's get along for now." Raichi, ever the hothead, declares, "I'll crush all you Germans." Gagamaru silently makes his way, focused as ever. Niru, Corona, and Yura also head to the room, each with their unique mix of anticipation and determination. Finally, Yoichi Isagi steps forward, his excitement building as he joins the group. Before moving forward, just be an egoist and hit that subscribe button first. That'll really show your appreciation for the effort that goes into making these videos. The players, now gathered, enter the designated room. As they step inside, a hologram of Ego Jinpachi appears before them. Ego addresses them. "So, you've chosen Germany. Welcome to the land of traditional and ordinary soccer. Currently, the strongest club team in Germany is Bastard München. You will be participating in training alongside the club's U20 members." Isagi's eyes widen as he mutters, "We're being thrown in with a world-class team right away?" The group buzzes with excitement, but Ego interrupts their enthusiasm with a smirk. "Unfortunately, it's the opposite. We are creating Europe's 5 major league environments right here inside Blue Lock. That's why I've invited players from the 5 great leagues, considering the 11 rising stars of your generation. From England, Manchester City, from Italy, Uber, from Spain, FC Barca, from France, Paris, XGN, and from Germany, the powerhouse Bastard München." Ego continues, "Your next objective is to succeed within these environments. Furthermore, your instructions will come directly from me. You will be learning from the top team's dominating strikers." Ego smirks and declares, "Now, Let me introduce you to Bastard München's unrivaled ace, the man currently recognized as the greatest player in the world, the master striker, Noel Noah. With that, the atmosphere in the room shifts as Noel Noah steps forward, flanked by his team. His commanding presence silences everyone, leaving the players in awe. Isagi, overwhelmed with excitement, exclaims, "Noel Noah, my hero, the best striker in the world!" Ego continues, "After the exhibition match against Japan's U20, the Blue Lock project has captured the attention of the entire world. This wild fantasy of mine has attracted many great sponsors. Phase 2's beginning has already exceeded my expectations. And of course, that doesn't just apply to the German team. The players exchange astonished glances, some muttering, 'All the superstars, they're here in Blue Lock.'" Ego nods with satisfaction and says, "Indeed, and not just the superstars, but the master strikers themselves. Within each country's wing are the members of their U20 teams and their master strikers. This is your chance to absorb this new level of soccer into your being." He pauses dramatically and then announces, "Now, let's introduce them all." Ego begins the introductions, his voice resonating through the room. From England's Manchester City comes a man with an iron body, a world-class striker on par with Noel Noah, the perfect hero, Chris Prince. The players murmur in awe as Ego continues. Then, from Spain's FC Barca, part of a top soccer league, comes the extravagant genius dribbler from Brazil, the dance man Livino. Ego's smirk widens. From Italy's Ubers, we have the victory straggler, the victory contractor who leads any team to triumph after he transfers in, the royal messenger, Sneffy. Finally, Ego's tone sharpens. And from France's Paris XGN, we have the light-speed striker and the top rising star garnering the most attention from soccer fans worldwide, the divine sprinter Loki. The room is electric with anticipation as Ego declares, "Under these masters, each with their own unique philosophies, all of you will have no choice but to evolve within these environments." He then shifts gears. "Now, let me explain the details of Phase 2. First, you will undergo training with these masters. You'll be mixed into teams with the players I've invited, and through these teams, you must prove your worth. Your goal is to be selected as one of the 11 starting players." The players' excitement grows as Ego continues. "Out of 20 players from both teams, 11 will be chosen. Once selected, those 11 will take part in games. Your opponents will be the chosen players from the other wings. Each team will fight every other team, for a total of 25 matches across the 5 teams." The room buzzes with energy as players realize they'll get to face everyone. Ego smirks. "That's right, the main event. But these matches will have special rules to make things more intense." He lists the rules. First, you'll need 3 goals to win. This ensures matches are fast-paced and dramatic. Next, there will be unlimited substitutions. During matches, each team can substitute players as many times as they want, whenever they want. Finally, each team will be allowed to feed their master, meaning your master striker can take the field, but only for 3 minutes per match. The players are stunned, their anticipation reaching its peak as they absorb the stakes and possibilities of the Neo Egoist League's Phase 2. Everyone is brimming with excitement at the prospect of playing alongside the masters and the greatest players in the world. Ego smirks and says, "This is the star change system. These are the rules for the upcoming battle. As I mentioned earlier, this is also the final selection for the Youth U20 World Cup. Your rankings will be based on your performance in each game, and these rankings will change after every match. The top-ranked player at the end of the final match will be selected as the new representative for the Youth U20 World Cup." Ego pauses, his gaze intense, then continues, "This is the battle that will create the world's greatest striker, the world-class New Generation Survival Challenge. This is the greatest competition in the history of soccer, the Neo Egoist League." The players erupt with excitement. Igarashi exclaims, "Blue Lock is getting seriously awesome." Isagi, pumped with adrenaline, thinks to himself, "This is totally unreal. I get to learn about soccer directly from Noel Noah. On top of that, I actually get to play alongside him on the field. If I can win here, I'll level up for sure. The road to being the world's best is laid out right before me." Ego smirks again and adds, "And let me say this before I forget. For Germany's best team, the team with Noah, there is a specially selected player I want to have participate. The players exchange confused glances, murmuring amongst themselves. Ego explains, "You Blue Lock players who have come this far did so by following the project's primary route, but I prepared a secondary route for the so-called losers, a place where an unusual philosophy was ingrained into their hearts. From that crucible, a monster was born, and now, it makes its second coming." Suddenly, the room falls silent as a door opens, and a mysterious figure steps inside. Ego smirks and continues, "Now, enter the lone survivor of the wild card program, the last dark horse, Rensuke Kunigami." The door swings open, and Kunigami steps into the room. His presence radiates confidence and strength as he stands tall, pumped up and ready for the challenge. The players are stunned by his return, their whispers filling the room. Ego, unfazed, declares, "The players are assembled. The hottest place in the world is right here, and now the curtain rises on Blue Lock Phase 2. The Neo Egoist League begins now." The room erupts with energy, the players fired up as they prepare to take on the challenge of a lifetime. Noah steps down from the stage and walks toward the Blue Lock players. Isagi, filled with determination, mutters, "Kunigami, Noah, my new training is starting now." Noah looks at the players and speaks calmly, "Go to the goal. I'll be waiting for you there." With that, he leaves the ground. Igarashi, pumped up, exclaims, "It's like a real-life e-sport." Yukimiya, equally excited, asks, "What did Noah just say?" Rukimiya, interpreting confidently, replies, "Go to the goal. That's what he said." The players gear up, ready to move toward the main goal room as the timer ticks down. Isagi approaches Kunigami and says, "I didn't know there was a wild card battle. Welcome back, hero. I'm so stoked you're the one who came back. We get to fight together again." Kunigami, his demeanor cold and sharp, responds, "Stop. I'm not a hero anymore. I left that immature joke behind. Prepare yourself, Isagi. I'm going to be the best in the world. Get ready." Isagi, taken aback, thinks, "What happened to you, Kunigami? I don't know this version of you. All I can do now is fight." With that, the players rush to the main ground as their new training begins. The first zone tests the players' speed. Isagi notices Kunigami sprinting ahead and thinks, "Kunigami is so fast. Was he always this fast?" It feels like his physical abilities have drastically improved. They then enter the second zone, the inclined dash, designed to test endurance and acceleration. Next, the third zone is the ladder sprint, where players must navigate through a ladder formation as the timer continues to count down. The fourth zone follows, a step jump challenge, where players leap onto platforms to reach the other side. Isagi observes, "In this zone, you have to choose platforms within your jump range, or you'll fall." Among the Blue Lock players, the only one managing to keep up with the best is Kunigami, matching his pace with incredible precision. As they near the goal, it's revealed that someone has already reached the goal point. It's none other than Kaiser. Determined, Isagi pushes harder to catch up as they enter the final zone, pole dribbling and shouting. Isagi, his resolve burning, declares, "I'm going to prove my worth." With determination, Isagi takes the ball and weaves through the poles, dribbling skillfully. He focuses intently and mutters to himself, "Don't rush it. At times like this, I just have to focus on one thing at a time and give each step my best." He maneuvers past the last pole and sets his sights on the target. "All right, now I just need to aim for the target and get a high score," he says to himself. With precision, Isagi launches a direct shot toward the main target. But suddenly, someone enters the field, intercepting the ball with a powerful strike. The newcomer smirks and says, "I wanted to meet you, Yoichi Isagi. I'm gonna call you Yoichi, okay?" He deflects Isagi's ball mid-air and hits his own, scoring effortlessly. Shocked, Isagi exclaims, "He blocked me! Who is this guy? And he aimed for the ball I picked." The man introduces himself confidently. "My name is Kaiser, and I do the impossible. On your knees, Blue Lock." With that, Kaiser secures the goal, leaving everyone stunned. Isagi's mind races. Kaiser? Wait, isn't he part of the same New Generation 11 as Rinatoshi? That's Michael Kaiser. The Blue Lock players are troubled by Kaiser's overwhelming skill, but Isagi is deep in thought. He just blocked my shot. Yukimiya comments, "That's not very polite." Just then, another player enters the scene. He approaches Kaiser and the Blue Lock members, holding out a small device. He says, "Here, you'll need this." Handing out the devices, he adds, "Kaiser, they don't hear you. They can't understand what you're saying." He addresses the Blue Lock members. "These are for all of you. Little gifts from Jinpachi Ego." He explains, "It's a micro-interpreter, designed by one of our sponsors, a company with dreams of going to space. It's still just a prototype, but it instantly converts speech into whatever language you want. You'll be able to hear individual voices clearly now." Curious, the players inspect the devices as he continues, "Sorry, I didn't introduce myself sooner. Nice to meet you guys. My name is Ness." Everyone is amazed by the devices. Igarashi twists his head and says, "They're not falling off, even when I'm twisting like this." Ryo chimes in, "These aren't just from any company. They're from a sponsor connected to my family's Makeage Corporation." Another player enters the room and scoffs, "Hey Ness, quit acting all chummy with these guys. I came here because the club owner said Blue Lock was amazing, but honestly, I'd rather be listening to the nonsensical chatter of some girl with nothing but a pretty face." The room turns to the newcomer, 20 forward Eric Jessner. Ness sighs and says, "That's so rude. Why do you have to be so vulgar toward these guys?" But Eric keeps going, his mocking tone relentless. Suddenly, another player interjects, "No, this was a bad call on our part. I can't blame you for being angry. Anger is just sadness you can't accept." The room is stunned as the dramatic forward of U20 Benedict Graham steps forward and adds, "You can't grow without accepting your sadness. Sadness is painful, but it's proof that you're alive. I can't take it." I stand with him. The Blue Lock players are taken aback by the bizarre personalities in front of them. Isagi, confused, asks, "What are you guys even talking about?" Suddenly, Kaiser grabs Isagi by the face, leaning in closely. "Yoichi, I came here to meet you. Blue Lock's ace striker, Yoichi Isagi. Don't disappoint me, new hero." Isagi, irritated, flicks Kaiser's hand away and says, "Don't touch me." Kaiser, unfazed, grabs Isagi by the hand and growls, "Shut your mouth. Give me a reason not to feel like coming here was a waste of time. I want you to get in the way of my life, Yoichi." The room goes silent, shocked by the escalating tension. Isagi clenches his fists and thinks, "This guy pisses me off." Then, with resolve, he says, "Fine, I'll do it, Kaiser. As you asked, I'm going to destroy your life." Kaiser smirks, his laugh echoing in the room. "Good. That face just now. That's so good. It suits you perfectly." He casually holds out his hand. "Ness, give me a handkerchief." Ness obliges and then says, "Let's see how long it takes for me to take the stage as the world's best striker. For now, I'm stuck in this joke of an interlude called Blue Lock. You guys, you're the circus animals providing some entertainment. And when I take the stage, Yoichi, you'll just be the pathetic clown who thought he was a star." Kaiser extends his hand for a handshake and says with a sly grin, "Nice to meet you, Blue Lock. You're going to bloom beautifully, and then fall for me." Suddenly, an intense aura fills the room as Noel Noah enters the field. His voice is calm but commanding as he says, "Knock it off, Kaiser. This is childish. Quit trying to exert dominance." Kaiser, feigning innocence, smirks and replies, "Sorry, Noah. Just thought I'd liven things up a bit." Noah's sharp glare cuts through him. "Don't talk back. I make the rules here." Kaiser quickly straightens up. "Right, yes, sir." Noah turns to the group and says, "Your initial training is done for now. I think you've realized it by now, but this room is designed to measure your physical abilities. Bastard München's philosophy is one of extreme rationality. We don't put any stock in intangible powers like impression or emotion. Only those with the numbers to win will be selected as starters." He continues, "The 21 players here will be ranked based on training and gameplay data. The top 11 will play in the matches. Anyone below that won't be used." Noah's gaze sweeps across the room. Bastard München is a team that wins with logic. As the rankings appear on a screen, everyone reacts. Isagi stares at the board and sees his name at the very bottom. He mutters, "I'm at the bottom. Because Kaiser blocked my shot earlier. I see. This is different from Ego's selection criteria. This is data survival where numbers rule everything." Raichi, sitting at rank 15, scoffs, So it's only the blue lock guys at the lower ranks. Naru nods. Those German players are really strong. Yukimiya adds with a frown. At this rate, we won't even get a chance to play in the matches. Isagi clenches his fists and thinks, this is a battle for us blue lock players to force our way onto Bastard München's starting lineup. The room is filled with mixed emotions. Some players are ecstatic about their ranks, while others feel crushed. Isagi steels himself and says, but if I can put up the numbers, I'll have an equal chance. Meanwhile, Kunigami, who is ranked at number 3, glances at the board and thinks, I'll use my body to create a chance for myself. Isagi, his eyes glowing with determination, declares, I won't let somebody else take the lead. I'm gonna rise through the ranks and drag Kaiser off his throne at the top. With his resolve set, the training session and matches between all the players begin. The players push themselves to the limit, each aiming to prove their worth and climb the rankings. The countdown begins, and in 10 days, the first match of Bastard München will take place, marking the start of an intense new chapter.